This is an MFN short, so I'm going to go over a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. So again, we're going to talk about what just happened, some pretty serious stuff, and I believe it's beyond at this point. The writing is on the wall. People can argue all you want. Let's go off the first one. Again, all of the information that I'm going to share here is going to be shared on our website, marfooglenews.com. We're going to give you the sources. The National Guard just simulated a cyber attack that brought down utilities nationwide. In fact, it was so specific, it actually said that National Guardsmen just completed a 2-week training exercise, which saw them respond to a simulated cyber attack that took out critical utilities across the United States. The exercises have become an annual event, but this year took on a more significance after coming on the heels of several major ransomware and cyber attacks that crippled large parts of American infrastructure in recent months. This year's exercises simulated a cyber attack that targeted utilities on the West Coast before spreading across to the East Coast towards New England. The simulated cyber attacks were designed to be as realistic and complex as possible in order to prepare for the types of incidents becoming more and more common across the country. Cyber attacks on civilian infrastructures have now taken precedence as a national security concern in recent years, as they have become more common and crippling. A ransomware attack shut down the United States' largest fuel pipeline. We, of course, talked about that. Shut down our infrastructure as far as gas. People were paying $200 for 5-gallon tanks. I mean, like absolute absurdity there. For about a week and a half to 2 weeks, people were having problems even just getting gas, period. Now, on top of that, at the same time, and I just want to put all of this in kind of the same view of things, at the same time, this is supposedly, it says U.S. targets Venezuela's power grid to intimidate the nation, or at least that's what Caracas says. It says that the U.S. targets Venezuela's power grid to intimidate the nation and enable drug trafficking, Venezuelan Deputy Defense Minister Admiral Alexander Velasquez Bastidas said on Wednesday. So this is him accusing the U.S. of basically messing with the Venezuelan power grid. Now, I will not say if I believe that one way or the other, but I will say that is definitely, he is not the only one that's accused that. In fact, I've seen comments of that happening since the last time they had, of course, their grid go down. On top of this, a hacker tried to actually poison the water supply in another major U.S. city. It says a hacker nearly poisoned the water supply of another major U.S. city, this time San Francisco. Again, earlier this year, NBC News revealed details of the incident a few days ago as part of a larger deep dive into the disastrous, porous state of the security associated with water supply systems across the U.S. Now, I know just from my local systems that there are actual, water supplies that have about 10 feet on the other side of a barbed wire fence that you could walk up to. And I thought of, when I walked by, I was like, anybody could chuck something in there. Do they have systems to prevent that from going? Of course, they have filters and all of this. But apparently there is actual systems that you could even just throw over that. And it could possibly do all sorts of damage, especially if you had access to a lab and things that would get through the first kind of filters. If you know how those systems work, then you can actually get things through the first kind of layers, is what I pick up on that. There are a few other headlines here. Russia, of course, claims that booms dropped to warn off British warship. Royal Navy says it never happened. So we have more accusations being denied by major countries. And then, of course, McAfee. Again, I don't know how sensitive this will be. I haven't seen as many people talking about it, but of course, there is a lot going down. And the reason why is, of course, in 2019 and in 2020, he basically said on his Twitter, if you don't know who McAfee is, he started McAfee Antivirus. Who knows if this is going to be like a hot subject for all of the platforms, right? But he said in 2019 and 2020 that if anything were to happen, that it basically, it wasn't him, right? So that's going to be a whole brand new start of an open bag of things. Some say that he was going to expose Bitcoin in some fashion. I've heard a million rumors already. So I'm not going to go off of rumor. Of course, I'll give you the official stories on the website, marfooglenews.com, so you can all find it. Most excitingly, we're going to talk about on the news show tonight. Of course, Harvard professor says alien spacecraft may have dropped off actual probes when it came by. If you kind of followed my show when that came by, of course, myself and others in my niche, of course, thought that it was really weird that it sped up as it left. It basically came by, and if you look at the trajectory, it came by Earth, got relatively close in the big span of things, and then sped up as it left. Now, they have some sort of scientific reason why it sped up and all of this. It wasn't a slingshot, it was some other thing. Maybe it was the exploding of gases or something that sped it up, or that's their the reason for it. But now this same Harvard professor is saying that they might have dropped something off, and that's possibly what we're seeing. Could that have been what actually changed everything about 3 years ago? Why this is just all of a sudden, just turned up as far as heat goes? We have Air Force's Thor microwave weapon instantly ends enemy drone attacks. We're going to cover that. And then, of course, oh my gosh. And we won't even hit that here. Subway's tuna sandwich is found to contain no tuna. That's just like, okay. So we'll talk about all of that and more. Mainly, I want you guys to make sure that you prepare for anything and everything. You will not be caught off guard. I know that most of you, even if you disagree with me or you think that that all of this is just fear porn or whatever, I would hope that you are paying attention and secretly putting out water, putting all of this other stuff. Because even if you think that this is all one big show, the big show will eventually happen. And guess what? The executive producers of this big show will be safe, completely safe. If anything were to happen and you had extra supplies, it's just responsible. It's something that, there's no downside to having extra food and water unless you go overboard. Anybody can put an extra $5 a week towards, water or canned foods. If you do this week after week after week, by the time something does happen, you are set. So take it seriously. This is something that the government, the military is taking seriously. This is something that all of the agencies are now preparing for. They're training in the dark. They're training at night. We actually have more stuff going on right now that we're going to talk about on tonight's show. China, big things happen. This is going to be a loaded show. So make sure you join me on our sister channel, Marfoogle TV. Again, fast growing over there at 152,000 already. So if you have not subscribed already, go over and do so. If you want to check out any of the websites or any of the of course, articles that we have posted here, go over to marfooglenews.com. If you want to protect yourself against an EMP or a CME, we are affiliated with EMP Shield. They are currently contracted with DOD, DHS, and the DEMSO team. So it's a great company. It's military tested, and it will actually protect you against something. In fact, all three phases of an EMP. So make sure to go check that out, marfooglenews.com/VPN. Part of it goes to support us, and you get a huge discount. So thank you, everybody. Foogle fam, make sure to say hello to your mods. Make sure to push each other up, and I will see you on the other channel in just a few minutes. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.